Sean Carter.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right? Jay-Z, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Y'all, it looks like Solange might be snitching on her brother-in-law, trying to send him to the poi. The beef between Jay-Z and Solange looks to be more serious than we ever thought, because allegedly Solange just inserted herself into Jay-Z and Diddy's ongoing case with the Fed, and it is not for the reasons that you think. No, she's not defending him or pleading for leniency or nothing like that. Instead, she is allegedly working with the Feds to take Jay-Z and Diddy down, offering up some super secret information as well as solid evidence to prove that Jay-Z is even worse than Diddy is allegedly. Now, we already know that Solange is Jay-Z's op, and she is not afraid to admit it. But this time, she is allegedly trying to put him away for good. Y'all won't believe the insanity that she's feeling. Has Jay-Z really been unaliving people to protect himself? This ain't Texas, ain't no hold them, take your brother-in-law down.
Being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films.
Solange and Jay-Z and Diddy. Y'all, I just know that Sal is doing car wheels right now with this news that the Feds have allegedly opened an investigation into her favorite brother-in-law, Jay-Z. Actually saying brother-in-law or favorite brother-in-law is a lot of a stretch, because everybody knows that Solange does not FS with Jay-Z, and have thought of him going to jail. Probably made her break out the most expensive bottle of champagne to make a toast. Solange has been relentlessly coming at him for what feels like forever. She's been riding his case for months, maybe even years. And there's no sign of her letting up anytime soon. Things have been spiraling downhill for Jay-Z, and Solange doesn't seem to mind it one bit. In fact, allegedly the Feds looming over him have a good chance that Beyonce might even call it quit, which is what Solange has been pushing Beyonce to do forever. But let me tell you all about Solange. She is as real as they come. And if she's not feeling you, she ain't going to pretend otherwise. Unlike her sister Beyonce, who keeps things low-key, Solange wears her disdain for Jay-Z right on her sleeve. And she doesn't even try to hide it. But y'all remember that infamous elevator incident, right? Well, apparently that was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Solange feelings towards Jay-Z. Now let's not forget Solange has been trying to break up Beyonce and Jay-Z for ages. She's allegedly been subtly trying to show Beyonce what kind of guy Jay-Z really is, despite being her younger sister. She's always been fiercely protective of Beyonce. Now y'all remember that time she called the cops to their house? Yeah, that was just one example of her looking out for her sis.
My sister actually had our family pretty famous for something else. She decided to try to get my boyfriend in trouble because she hated him. She was so jealous because we were best friends until him. And we were...
How old were you guys at this time?
I was 13.
13. The boyfriend is probably 13, 14?
13,
yeah.
yeah,
And
14.
your sister?
She was 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she's working on Big Sister here.
Oh, definitely. I'm still very surprised she did all this. We were upstairs and we were watching TV. Solange was supposed to leave us alone. My mother kept checking on us every hour. My sister walks by the television. She's looking at him like this. And she just keeps walking. And I'm like, after the 3rd time, what are you doing? I'm trying to find my coloring book. So I'm like, okay. So we go try to find a coloring book. My boyfriend and I in my room looking for a coloring book. He's not supposed to be in there. She walks in. We're like, what's wrong with you? He's not supposed to be in here. I'm gonna get you in trouble. So she goes downstairs. Next thing you know, my dad is running up the stairs. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. So my boyfriend is like, what, Mr. Knowles? What? So he is literally trying to kill him. My mother, me, the girls were all trying to fight him. I mean, hold him back. Next thing you know, ding dong, it's the cops. My sister
goodness.
called the police on my father because she said he was gonna kill him. And my dad is like, well, they said that my daughter said they were upstairs having sex. So the cops is like, oh, I would kill my sons too. So then my dad is like, Solange, why did you say that? Is it true? And she's like, no.
Now, even after all these years, Solange hasn't thrown in the toe despite not managing to get Beyonce away from Jay-Z. She's gone above and beyond to shield her sister from hurt and public humiliation. Now, if you've been following Beyonce and Jay-Z's story, you've probably heard all about Jay's wandering eye and his history of cheating. Beyonce even dropped hints about it in her music, famously referring to Becky with the Good, and Jay-Z himself hasn't shied away from addressing it in interviews and on his album 444. But what we didn't know is that Becky with the good hair isn't the only other woman in the picture. Rumor has it that Jay-Z has had his sights set on more than one lady outside of his marriage with Beyonce. But let's go all the way back in time to 2011, just a few days after Beyonce announced her pregnancy with Blue Ivy. There was some seriously shady business going on, and Jay-Z's alleged SII Kathy White tragically passed away under mysterious circumstances. Here's what gets even mercy. Just before her death, Kathy supposedly reached out to a reporter, claiming that she was ready to spill the tea about her affair with Jay-Z. Now, as you can imagine, Jay-Z wasn't trying to have any goo to make its way into the public eye, especially since he and Beyonce just announced that they were expecting their first child together. According to reports buzzing around, Kathy allegedly orchestrated the leak as payback for Jay-Z blindsiding her with a baby announcement. Jay-Z caught some serious heat for stepping out on Beyonce, and the tables were desperate to hear Kathy spill the tea. But in a twist that's straight out of a thriller movie, Kathy passed away less than 24 hours later. Talk about some seriously suspicious timing. But to add more fuel to the already blazing fire, Kathy's social media account mysteriously disappeared after her untimely demise. This led to a lot of conspiracy theories, suggesting that she might have been silenced. Some folks even pointed fingers at Jay-Z, insinuating he could have been involved in her demise. But as juicy as all this sounds, there's been no concrete evidence to back up these claims, leaving everything draped in mystery. Still, it's enough to make her hair stand on its end, and the plot thickens when you dive into the murky water surrounding Kathy's death. Initially, the autopsy reported point to a head injury as the cause of death. But then another report flipped the script, claiming it was an aneurysm instead. Now, while aneurysms can strike all of a sudden, the sudden change and cause of death was definitely sus. And just when you thought you heard it all, here comes another plot twist. Reports from the NYPD detective overseeing the case to a curveball contradicting the aneurysm diagnosis, and journalist Claudia Jordan decided to dig deeper into this tangled web of lies, uncovering some more jaw-dropping revelations. She wrote, according to an NYPD detective who told me Kathy's cause of death is uncertain, and later today we will have the autopsy and toxicology reports.